Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Mother's Day to you mothers out there. Have to be careful how you say that. That could have double meanings, couldn't it? Well, we'll go with the theme today, that's for sure. But we'll see who's going to join us here. Maybe some people are tied up with their families probably today. Andy's here. Hi, Andy. And Thimblehooke and Shuttle is here. Brenda is here. It's a nice sunny day in Vancouver, Washington. And Barb is here. Elsa. Smokey at Edmonton. Guess you got some... 'Tis the season, it seems, for forest fires these days, doesn't it? It seems to be the norm.
Well, it seems to be tornadoes and forest fires.
Yeah, great combination. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. And Donna. And... oh, Barb says it's Smokey in Calgary as well. And Suzanne is here. And... who else is here? Inez is here. Marilyn's here. Heather is here. Diana is here. Charlotte is here. And Stephanie is here. And Karen B is here. Faith is here. Sue Norfleet is here. The gang's all here. So, glad to see everybody. And as I said before earlier, happy Mother's Day. That back in. There we go. Brett is here from Portland, Oregon. And yeah, well, let's get into things here. We've got things to talk about, and then we're going to piss off the mothers today. Yeah, because we're going to talk about the dark side of Mother's Day. And you might be wondering what that's all about. Well, you'll find out. You will find out. And I'm going to say right now, I'm going to piss off some of you. Just no two ways about it. But anyways, before we do the pissing off, let's talk about what we've been working on. So, how far you got in my shirt?
Nowhere.
Yeah, that's typical. You get.
I will get going.
What's left?
I got to put the collar on and hem it and put the buttons on.
Oh, okay. Well, it's almost done. That'll be another month. Okay, that's good to know. Brett is here. Grant is here. So let us see what I've been working on. Well, this is more or less what Stephanie and I are working on. As you know, Stephanie and I are doing a sort of a pre-recorded sew along for the Churchill block. I have 2 blocks done now. It will be eventually a quilt. It's actually designed in the pattern book in the Doug Lico. And I think I keep calling him Dan Lico. Someone put a comment in from last week's video from doing this and said it's Doug. So I must have called him Dan. I don't know why I think Dan and not Doug. But anyways, it's Doug Lico's pattern, and it's meant to be a table runner. It's a book of table runners. But these blocks, you can make them into anything you want. I am having some difficulty with it. Stephanie probably is not. But my blocks are not coming out the size he says the block should be. I'm off by about a half an inch to an inch. I mean, they all come out the same, so that's fine. It's not going to cause me any grief, but I don't know why that is. And there is a piece of it that I do not like making, but I'm going to talk privately to Stephanie about that before we do this week's recording and see, if she's got some tips or tricks that will help me with that. But having said that, it's not a difficult pattern. It looks difficult. But I'm just not happy with his measurements on some of the things. But anyways, if you guys have been joining us, the first one went up on Thursday. And the second part, which is steps 2 and 3, will go up later this coming week as well. Okay, let me get out of that screen, go back down here, and I need to see our other screen. So get out of that. There we go. So what's people saying here? Anybody else came in when we're looking at that? Inez said beautiful colors. Sue is here from Alabama, and Melissa is here from Saskatchewan. And Karen likes the colors too. And Faith says her blocks are off also. Yeah. Yeah. And I looked at the pattern and I don't think his measurements are wrong, but there's something weird happening. And well, I will speak to the expert, to Stephanie, about that. I am sure it's me, but we'll see.
More likely.
I'll screw off. You're so supportive. Not. Hi, Glenna. So anyways, that's what we've been working on. So we have sewing with Stephanie and Steven Wednesday as usual, 9 a.m. start time. Come whenever you like, go whenever you want, and the link's in the show notes below. I already talked about the Churchill sew along, Churchill block sew along. What else happened this week? Russ, is Russ here? No, not here yet. Oh, Laura's here. Hi, Laura.
And Nez wants to know how your 1/4 inch is. Isn't that a personal question?
That's kind of important. And I'll tell you that it is not a 1/4 inch. No, actually, no, my 1/4 inch is accurate because I did check that. Okay. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But anyways, I mean, it's not a biggie.
That's for sure.
Okay, where is it? You're so much fun. Anyways, it's not a biggie. It'll all work out. But what I'm more concerned about are people who are doing the sew along. So, you know, kind of want to see if we've got some tips or tricks that will help people not necessarily have what has happened to me. But we will talk about that when we do the next recording this week, and you'll hear all about that. Faith says she checked her 1/4 inch too. Diane says, just have to love Walter. No, you don't. No, you don't have to do anything. Sue GSD is here. Hope your day is as beautiful as is here in St. Louis, Missouri.
It's actually not bad out today.
No. What is the temp here? 16. Oh, that's not bad. 16. Okay, so like I was saying, on Friday night, a lot of you were there. Russ had his 1,000 plus subscribers bash. And Stephanie and Walter and I and a good friend of Russ's, Dave, and his sister, Russ's sister, Fran. We were all there. And Fran was spilling the beans on some embarrassing stories about Russ when they were growing up. And that was kind of fun to watch him squirm a little bit. But yeah, that was a good time. No cake. I was disappointed. No cake. But maybe at the next one. Never know. And we have another special live event coming up on Stephanie's channel on this coming Friday on May the 17th. There's a link to it in the show notes below, and there will be a link for it in Stephanie's as well. I can't tell you anything more. I have been sworn to secrecy, and people have tried to get it out of me, and I have been a good boy. Well, Stephanie did threaten me, but I mean, yeah, and that was enough. But my lips are sealed, so I will say no more about it. So tune in on Friday night at I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern on Stephanie's channel for her surprise. Okay, and what else is coming up? Advance notice. Pop-up sew day. Originally, I said it was going to be this coming Saturday. I've changed my mind for 2 reasons. One, it's the long weekend here in Canada. Not that we're going anywhere for it. It's the May 2-4 weekend. But also, Walter has an in-person sew day at the club with his cohorts as well on the 25th. So I'll be here all by my lonesome. So I need company. So next pop-up sew day will be Saturday, May the 25th, 1 week from this coming Saturday. Those of you on the mailing list will get the link for it directly to your mailbox. And for everybody else, it'll be in the show notes, not this week's videos. It'll be in next week's. mainly because if I put it in next week, I will have people trying to get in next Saturday when it's not happening. That ask me how I know that'll happen, because it will. People get the dates mixed up. So, who just came in? Johnny May is here.
Ron's here.
Blackus. Ron, long time no see. That's what we thought, you'd fallen off the face of the planet, Ron. We haven't seen you on a sew day on Wednesdays forever, and we haven't seen you on here. So, hope you've been okay. Hope you didn't have any major diseases or anything, or, you know, didn't kill your wife and are still trying to bury body parts or whatever like that. Poor Joan. But anyways, it's nice to see you here today. Okay, so I have a couple of other things. We have a bunch of things happening next week.
Don't want to be accused of being a flake.
Don't want to be accused of being... Oh, too late, Ron. You must have heard the discussion all over the last few weeks on Sewing with Stephanie and Steven. That's all we talked about. Ron the Flake. Yeah, that's what it is. Guess your ears were burning. So I have a fun thing happening tomorrow, Monday. I get to go to the dentist for a cleaning. This will be the real test of the water pick. Back the last time I went in for a cleaning, I had the water pick for a couple of months, 3 months, I think, at that point. And I was really pleasantly surprised. The dental hygienist, they usually go in there with a power, jackhammer, because they just love to scrape the guts out of you in there. And she said, there's very little buildup. And I said, well, I got a water pick. So I said, she said, oh, well, they work really well. And I says, well, I'm impressed. So now we'll see.
Maybe why they don't advertise that, because
maybe. Well, we'll see how this is this time, because who knows. But I used my water pick faithfully, like 3 times a day with it. So I hate the dentist. I mean, who does like the dentist, really? I've never heard anybody say, oh, Gritty, I get to go to the dentist today. Ooh, I hope they do all kinds of horrible things to me.
That's a laugh. Did you get a discount?
What?
For not doing anything?
Oh, no. It was still, I think that bill was about 200.
You have to pay off the dentist Mercedes man.
Yeah, the whole bit with that. No, they, that's the other thing that's painful about going to the dentist. Luckily, we have insurance, but it doesn't cover the whole thing. It only covers about 85%.
And that's pretty expensive these days.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah. But now I wonder if our dentist has opted into the government's universal dental plan that's only good for people who are dead or just been born.
Or don't have any income.
Or yeah. Well, basically, that's the only people that can get it are the people that have, what, is it under 30,000?
No, I think it's under 90,000.
Or is it combined?
Combined, yeah.
Under 90,000, yeah. With that. Well, a lot of people that are seniors and the elderly, they don't have those kind of pensions with it. So, yeah, it's smoke and mirrors by the government. Everything is. And the dentists don't have to buy into it. So I think that really reflects, if our dentist says that they're not, I'm going to ask them about it and see what they tell me. If they say they're not, I'm going to look at them and say, why? I mean, doesn't do me any good, but
yeah, a lot of seniors have dentures anyway.
Just take them out, leave them for cleaning, go out shopping, come back an hour later. Yeah. Actually, that's not such a bad thing.
I think more and more people have their teeth now, and have less people have just dentures. So.
Well, I think people in our age range and that do, because I mean, we grew up in an age where, brusha kind of a thing. And these kids today, I mean,
like my mom had dentures. I never knew her when she didn't have dentures. So
yeah, my parents had bad teeth. And part of it was because they couldn't afford to go to the dentist. But yeah, and that's why I'm so conscious about mine. I do not want to have, I mean, when my mother smiled, you just ran. It was like, oh my God, I think I've seen that monster in, what was that show that used to come on way back? The one with the kids in it and the creatures. I forget what that was called. But, the one, we watched it all the way through. Had the girl that You know, they don't know where she came from, and
Oh yeah.
what was that?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. They had a monster in there with, like, no, well, that was kind of like my mother. No, Mom, don't smile for the camera, please don't. So, anyways, I got that, and then on later in the week, I get to go to the eye doctor for a checkup on my eyes. So, and of
I have
course,
to go for a glaucoma test at the end of the week.
well, wow, what day's that?
Friday.
Oh, geez, you're just busy boy this week. Because Walter's going out for lunch tomorrow.
And then on Tuesday I go to the doctor, and then on Friday I go see that specialist for my eyes.
Huh. Well, you just have a busy day. God, senior's day out, meaning doctor's appointments. So yeah, but you go there. You see, in our country, if you're over 65, your eye exam is covered by the government. However, that doesn't stop them either, because they always like to use the special machine on my eyes because they consider me a higher risk
The
for
one that
glaucoma.
goes beep.
Yeah, the one that goes beep. And it supposedly it takes a picture of the back of your eyeball. Actually, it used to be I'd go in and then they talk about doing this, and I'd go out into another room and they would do this procedure, which is just basically taking a picture of your eyeball, and it comes up on their computer. Now they do it automatically, but if you want them to examine it and to show you what's there, it costs you money for it. And because I have a higher risk of glaucoma because my mother had glaucoma, that's the excuse they use for taking this picture. So that usually costs
Yeah, but then they don't
$50
give you the glaucoma test like I get. The one where you'd have to go look at something and push a button and see a little dot.
No, I don't think I've ever had that
Oh
one.
God, I hate that one.
Oh, well, whatever. But that one's free.
Well, that
Or
one's
is it?
not free. I pay extra for that one.
Oh, well, I have to pay extra for this
extra
one.
for the torture. And then they're sending me a specialist because I had a problem with that. I think it was just my mind was watering when I was doing it. But anyway, so they're sending me a specialist for it, and I got to do it all over again, but I didn't do it for free this time.
So who knows? And I kind of want to talk to them too about these glasses that I've got. See, I had cataracts surgery done back, 12 years ago, I guess, just after I retired. And they put my prescription in my eyes. But of course, you have a choice. Do you want to be able to see distances, or do you want to be able to see close up? If you go for close up, you can't really drive your car without glasses. And if you want to drive your car without glasses, then you need these for close up. And these are supposed to be progressive lenses, and I have never figured out. I've had progressive lenses before, that I don't know if they even call them progressive now. There might be another name for them, but they're supposed to be different. You look in different parts of them and see better or whatever. And these were supposed to be good for if you're looking at a computer screen a lot, which I am, and the whole bit. Well, anymore, they make my eyes go screwy. So I don't know if my prescription has changed for this. I'll find that out. And then I'll go over and I'll see Carl. Carl is the guy that I buy my glass frames from. He has the eye boutique or whatever. What's it called? Yeah, the
Optical boutique.
Optical boutique. Yeah, I knew it had something to do with eyes.
Well, I don't know. Is he still in business? He was 1,000 years old last time we went to go see him.
No, it's still there,
Oh,
unless
okay.
somebody bought it out or whatever. But he always likes to keep you up to date on the latest in fashion in frames, right? And his frames are expensive as well. That's why I have these ones. But I really like these frames. So I don't want a new pair of frames. I want these ones, but I think I need new lenses. So we'll see.
Yeah, Faith says my vision test is called a field of vision test, which is right.
Well, I have that one all the time.
What? Where you have to look at something? And
Yeah,
then
you look at the little farmhouse down at the end of the thing.
No, that's not the farmhouse one. You look into it, you put your chin on a machine.
Yeah.
It's a big box, and it goes beep, beep, beep. And you're looking, and you see little flashes of light.
Yeah.
Little flashes of light. And you see them for you got to do it for 2 or 3 minutes.
Do you have to push something? Did you
I
say?
have a little button. I have to push every
Oh, I
time
don't have a
see
little button. Okay, I don't
see
know.
a flash of light.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Well, I think my mind was wandering on one section.
Yeah, ADD, your ADHD.
I go, and I don't see any lights on this second. So
Well, you're blind then.
Maybe,
whatever.
maybe I'm missing some.
I
Maybe
don't
I
know.
have glaucoma. I don't know.
You always jump right to the most horrible thing. Oh, look, I have a bruise on my arm. It'll have to be amputated. Yeah, you just eat around it. That's that old joke. Mama, my brother's arm has a bruise on it. Just eat around it, dear. Never mind. Okay, so you're going out for lunch. You're going to the eye doctor, and you got something else.
No, it was the doctor. I have to go to the doctor.
Oh, the doctor.
Yeah, I had my blood test last week, and then I have to go to the doctor on Tuesday. But I was supposed to go to the doctor and to lunch on Tuesday, right? Because
two.
then they changed. Then the lady that she one of our group that we were going to.
Oh, the
lunch
racist one.
Yeah, the racist one.
Oh,
she suddenly couldn't make it on Tuesday, so she changed it to Monday. Isn't it funny that the venue that we were going to is closed on Monday and not on Tuesday? And I have a feeling she didn't want to go there for lunch.
yeah. Well, anyways, just busy week for us here. Never a dull moment.
She's evil.
Oh, who?
Lori.
Oh, well, yeah, she sounds evil. So Wild Rose Treasures is here. Made alive. Yep, that's great. Brenda is here. Another Brenda. Eye doctor for seniors is now every 18 months, no longer the year. Yeah, I know, because I called them before we went to Australia to see, if I could get an eye appointment at some point in time. And she told me, well, yeah, we can put you in now, but you'll have to pay for it because it's the 18 months. And she says, you still got 3 months. So she says, we'll call you when it comes up. And I said, okay, fine. I can wait the 3 months. So whatever. Faith says, Walters feel, yeah. Optical Baduk sounds fancy and costly. It is. But they really do have a good selection of glasses. And they really look after you. Like anytime you need your glasses adjusted or whatever, you just walk in, they look after you real quick in the whole bit.
Hey Sue, I'm with you. I hate that stupid test too. I have a panic attack too.
Faith said her husband had glaucoma and has had 13 eye surgeries. The tests are very important. Oh yeah, I know the tests are important. There's no two ways about it. But that's here in our country, in our province, all of this stuff should be covered under our health care.
Yeah, well, the current government make nickels and dimes at all.
Yeah. And Barb says it's confusing because you question if you see the light or a reflection of the light.
Yeah, you're right, because the lights are so tiny. You're not sure if you're actually seeing it or you're seeing spots in front of your or you're not seeing it. So I don't know.
I have never had.
And then they also have a system where if you click too often, that's like, well, you have a lot of negatives on.
Sounds like you're playing Space Invaders. I don't know. Oh, Beverly's here. Hello, Beverly. And Linda's here. Oh, thank you, Linda. Nice compliment. But anyways, yeah. So it's busy week next week. Okay. So what else? Yeah, we went on yesterday. There was the Port Perry Patchworks. They're a guild. Port Perry is a town that's north of us by what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
20 minutes or so. And they were having their quilt show. So we went up to it. And I do have video to show you, but not today. I'll show it on the Idiot Quilter on Tuesday. It was a small venue, and there were a lot of quilts and a lot of really nice quilts.
Yeah.
Like these ladies in that guild are definitely masters. There were a lot of quilts that were very, very densely quilted, and beautiful quilting on them. And then there were a lot of applique ones too, but really intricate applique as well.
And a lot of very nice custom quilting on a lot of these.
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were up there, and they had some vendors. The vendors, there weren't that many, and it was squishy. in there. And these vendors go to these shows and they just bring their crap. There's stuff they're trying to get rid of that's not selling in the store. There weren't any deals to be had, although I did find a couple of things that I did purchase while I was there. And again, I'll show those on Idiot Quilter.
And our local quilt store was there.
Yeah, our local quilt store was there as well. I did buy something from them just to keep them in business. But while we were there, and I was doing some video of the quilts and that, this lady walked up to Walter. What did she say?
Well, this older lady walks up to me and she says, "Oh, you're Walter." And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, and I pointed over there and I said, "And there's Steve." "Oh, yeah." She goes, "Walter and Steve."
Can I shake your hands? Yeah.
And she's wearing a latex glove.
Latex glove. Well, don't have a disease. Well, they gave them to us when we came in, you know, so you could, if you want to look at the quilts, pull them back, you could.
It always throws me off when somebody does that on me. Like, it said,
what, gives you latex gloves?
No. It says, "Oh, you're Walter." Like, and
meanwhile,
all these ladies
are all standing around and going, just, "Oh," she says, "it's so nice to meet." She says, "I'm so excited. And she's really, I says, "Okay."
And she said, "Oh, I didn't know you lived around here."
Yeah. And so anyways, it kind of took us back a little bit, but we said, well, we're just ordinary people. She says, "Oh, no, you're not. You know, I watch you all the time." So yeah, fangirled us. But yeah, it was nice that she spoke to us and everything like that. Walter was busy giving out my business cards to everybody, my Idiot Quilter cards and that whole bit. So, anyways, yeah, it was a nice little show. We weren't there that long.
But they had quite a few quilts.
Yeah, they did in that small space. They obviously had it planned out too, how to to get them all in there, because it was not a big venue.
And I at first thought, oh, it's just a little club or whatever, and might not be worthwhile going. But actually, I'm glad we went, because it was really nice to see some really good work. And
there were a few people there that I recognized from when I belonged to the guild down here, and I just looked the other way. Well, they weren't paying any attention. I don't know if they even.
They probably spotted you, but one of the few guys in the group.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah. So anyways, that was good, and I'll have some pictures and things to show you, some video on Idiot Quilter this week as well. So let's just see, anybody else came in that I haven't said hello to. Oh, Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa.
Well, you're gonna. Oh yeah, I was saying you were gonna tell them about. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Don't go off script.
Oh wow, on what script? I didn't see the script.
Well, it's because you can't read. Ingrid's here. Hi, Ingrid. And Teresa's here. And Shannon's here. And
well, next
Jean
time
Hoffman's here.
Next time you need a screw inserted, I won't be around. You need my eyes. Yeah, he had a little screw come out of it, Lucy. And he says, "I can't see it. I can't see it.
I can't see up close." I mean,
so I have to go and put a screw in.
Did it feel good for you? Good screw? Yeah. Whatever. Ingrid says she's horrible at those eye tests. Too much pressure. I see spots all the time. Well, I have floaters, like a lot of floaters. And if I don't think about them, it's okay. But when I think about them, like I'm thinking about them right now, so it's across my vision. I have one huge floater in this eye that apparently when they did my cataracts, they knocked this sucker loose. And actually my eye doctor at the time says, that's not really a bad thing. Is it really getting in the way? Is it? And I said, only when I think about it, kind of a deal. Because she said that apparently because I have blue eyes, people with blue eyes have more of a susceptibility to detached retinas. And because when they did my cataracts, this thing came loose in that, it is not a bad thing, because that kind of floater or whatever, I don't understand what she was explaining, could have lent itself to creating more of a risk for a detached retina. So they just detach the whole thing and let it float around for whatever. So I don't know. Who knows? Barb says, was she part of the paparazzi? Well, no, she didn't ask for a picture. Oh, there's what we go. We should hand out 8x10s signed. Charge them $10. Love and kisses, Walter and Stephen. Yeah, that would be good. Teresa says, now you can get your cataracts replaced so that one eye sees far and the other sees close. Somehow the brain just figures it out.
Actually, I have that with my contacts.
Yeah, I was going to say I had that with my contacts at one point.
Yeah, I've got, I should have -6 in both eyes. And I'm wearing a -5.5 in one eye and a -4.5 in the other one. And I see good close up and I see good far away. It takes a little while to get used to it, but.
But, Pace is here. Hi, Pace. We're getting a few people here that we haven't seen in a long time or never seen before. So that's good. I figured everybody would be having Mother's Day, doing whatever you mothers do on Mother's Day, run naked through the parks or something with a picnic basket or something like that. But we're going to talk about Mother's Day now. And as I warn you right now, we're not going to be kind. Okay? And a lot of this got started because of what happened yesterday at the quilt show. I was looking around and the people putting on the quilt show, the guild, had a couple of tables set up and they were selling things that the people in the guild had made. And
small craft items.
Yeah.
Rope bowls.
Yeah, I didn't see any rope bowls. Were there?
Yeah, there
was there
rope
rope bowl?
bowls and rope mats or whatever.
Oh, because I noticed the thread catchers, which I've made those before, but whatever. And the lady standing by the table, I was just looking at some of the stuff. She says, these make great last minute Mother's Day's gifts.
How old did she think?
I don't know how old she thought I was, but I looked at her and said, I'm sure they do. My mother's dead. Oh, she didn't miss a beat. She goes, well, maybe for your wife. And I said, he's right there. And at that point, I think she got a little embarrassed. And I said, so, okay. I said, somebody needs inclusivity training, kind of a deal. But I talked to her for a minute anyway. She was a nice lady. But, it was just these assumptions that people make about this, right?
Well, it's a small community,
And I said to her, actually, I'm kind of glad. I said, this is going to sound really bad. I said, but I'm kind of glad my mother's no longer with me. I said, because I never knew what to get her for Mother's Day. And that was a pain. That put a lot of pressure on me.
Especially when she wasn't happy with what you...
Yeah, because, my mother was very picky about gifts.
I was lucky. My mother wasn't picky. My mother was always very appreciative.
Yeah. But this got me thinking about other things. Hi, Karen. About other things to do with Mother's Day. So first of all, where did Mother's Day come from? Like, I always...
Some guilt trip?
Yeah, probably. I always assumed Mother's Day was sort of like Valentine's Day and Halloween and that. It's one of those things that businesses decided to do at one time to make money, because Mother's Day, who benefits from that in business terms? Well, florists, chocolate people, the card makers these days, although I don't know if that's
nowadays,
really big. People send electronic ones or maybe nothing at all. Jewelry, what was it? People's Jewelry. It's a company in Canada, or it was. I don't know if it still exists or not.
I don't know. Yeah.
They used to always have, show your mother you love her. Buy her diamonds. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I did some research. Actually, Walter did some research last night.
Well, I did it accidentally, but some research. I don't know what got me on it.
But so anyways, we'll talk about what he found. But before that, I was thinking that Mother's Day is something that is a relatively, in terms of long time, like 100 years or something that's relatively recent. Well, apparently not. And I found some interesting facts about this. First of all, the pagan origins of Mother's Day dates back to the ancient Greeks during their yearly spring festival that paid tribute to maternal goddesses. In Greek mythology, a key figure was Rhea, wife of Cronus, who was the mother of various gods and goddesses. So basically, it has its roots in ancient Greek mythology, kind of a deal. Now, in Mother's Day, this came up, I think, yesterday on Stephanie and Shannon's live. They were talking about the dates for Mother's Day, and someone said, well, does the UK or do all countries have Mother's Day? And the UK, do they have it at the same time or whatever? Well, actually, not all countries have Mother's Day, but North America, UK, Australia, and a few other places actually do. But the UK have already had their Mother's Day. They had it in March. So it doesn't fall on the same dates. So I found this about the Mother's Day in the UK. It says Mother's Day in the UK has its origins in the 16th century custom of Mothering Sunday, which fell on the fourth Sunday of Lent. That's 3 Sundays before Easter, and the tie-in with the church calendar is why it's always a bit confusing trying to work out when it is each year. So that's why their Mother's Day is earlier. But again, this was in the 16th century. And Mothering Sunday was something that was tied in with Lent and everything like that. And then for North America, it said the idea started in America when a woman called Anna Jarvis held a small memorial service for her own mother on the 12th of May, 1907. Soon after, most places in America were observing the day, and in 1914, the U.S. president made it a national holiday celebrated on the second Sunday of May. This commercialization of the day horrified the founder of the day so much that she regretted starting Mother's Day and spent the rest of her life campaigning to have it rescinded. Anna Jarvis's campaign for a special day to celebrate mothers was one she inherited from her own mother, Anne Reeves Jarvis. She was very intentional about the name of her holiday. It's Mother's Day as in one mum. So apostrophe S as opposed to S apostrophe. The way Ms. Jarvis put it, Mother's Day is a day to honor the best mother who ever lived, yours. Was the kind of thing. So she spent the rest of her life trying to get rid of it after she started this up basically for her own mother. And then another thing I found said the differences stems from their unique history. The UK's Mothering Sunday originated as a religious event, while the US version was established by Anna Jarvis to honor mothers. And then, of course, it's just has been exploited by, as many holidays are, I mean every holiday, whether it's religious or non-religious, is exploited by the businesses in the world, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting, that's how it got started. Let's see, before I go on then, Karen says, I'd rather have a meal made than waste money on cards, flowers, or candy. I want to make my day wash a dish.
Never mind.
Okay, I'm not really sure what you mean, but anyways, Mother's Day is the busiest day for flowers. Yep. Colleen says, hi, Colleen. And Jean E is here as well. Regarding canned bread, it's made in New England by B&M, George Burnham, and Charles Morrell. Since the 1920s, they made other canned goods from 1870. Sorry for my error. Okay. Oh, yeah, that was yesterday on the live with Stephanie and Shannon.
Yeah,
we got talking about
canned bread.
Actually, that stemmed from our social review when Russ and his sister were talking about some kind of brown bread in a can or something like that.
Yeah, florists also are extremely busy on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, that's what it says there.
Yeah. It says it's on Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, they're always busy on Valentine's Day too, because that's good.
Yeah, because then you buy your mother flowers, you buy your wife flowers, and you buy all your girlfriend's flowers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyways, I say this to Mother's Day. Bah, humbug. And here are our reasons for this. This is the dark side of Mother's Day. Okay. And some of this is kind of serious. Okay. Buying a gift for your mother. Let's be honest. It's not her birthday. It's not Christmas. All right. My mother got a gift on her birthday. My mother got a gift at Christmas. That's two. Okay. That's what most people get. They get a birthday present, they get a Christmas present. So then you get Mother's Day, and you got to get her another gift. What the hell do you buy your mother who has everything? And people say, you know, like, well, you can get her flowers. That's what it reduced to in my family. My sister and I, and when my brother lived out here, we would just all go in together and buy her, she liked hanging flower pots at the front of her house. So we would buy those for her. Or we would get her a gift certificate for one of the garden centers she used to go to, so she could get her, you know, her plants for her flower beds and things like that all the time. That's what we got her every year.
Yeah, and I always used to. My mom loved flowers, house plants and flowers, so I always got my mom some flowers at this time of year. Usually at a gas station.
Yeah, you got her gas station flowers.
She didn't care. She wasn't thinking.
Yeah, but yeah. So and every year it would make you go nuts, trying to figure out what to get. That's why we eventually went to the flowers, and that she seemed to be happy with. But my mother was very picky, so it wasn't just any flowering basket. We had to get. She loved impatiens, so and fuchsia. So that would be basically what we had to get her. My poor father, he never knew what to get my mother. So he slipped me some money and said, get your mother something from me. Dad, I'm having a hard enough time picking out something for her from me. What makes you think I can get her anything from you? I try to pile it off onto my sister, you know, because
yeah, she was
female.
often not happy with what your sister would buy her.
No. My mother was very, very picky about the stuff. And then you try to do, so you got to do something special. Cook them dinner, take them out for dinner. Well,
well, a lot of these places really capitalize on taking your mother out for dinner or something like that, because there's one place we went and they were, this was pre-COVID, and they were charging $50 a head just for brunch, and it wasn't that special.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's there, and it's the guilt. It is the guilt that's placed on it. There is nobody better in the world to place guilt on children than their mothers. That comes with the female territory. I'm sorry. There is only females can do that. And they learned at the knees of their mother. Okay. The guilt thing. Every time. Set. Why do we need to have a special day to honor your mother? Why is that? Oh, don't give me this business that for 9 months I carried you. I felt like shit. Not my fault. I don't remember having a say in the whole matter about that. And quite seriously, you honor your mother one day a year? What about being respectful, honoring your mother at other times of the year? Really? Go figure. Okay. And so I don't get it. I don't get it. This is why I go back to the whole thing about businesses. This has been pumped into us by the business community. And not just those of us that have mothers themselves. That information's been there. You know, think about how much money should you spend on an engagement ring? Any guesses? According to the diamond industry, 3 months' salary, probably higher than that today. Who started that? What's it called? Bears, whatever.
De Beers,
whatever. Big Diamond Company. They started that back in the 1940s as an advertising campaign, and that has stuck with that. Well, so is Mother's Day. You know? And I remember going in and looking at the Mother's Day cards. They used to gag me when they were so sweet. They were sticky.
I never would buy those.
I always look for comedy ones.
Actually, I tended not to buy cards for Mother's Day because I ended up just getting her garage potted flower. Actually, what was funny about getting it from the garage or whatever, from the corner they would have them on display on the corners.
Yeah, I remember that.
By the gas stations. What was funny about that, half the time, though, my sister would go to a florist to buy flowers, and they weren't as nice as the ones I got for half the price.
Yeah, but when you smelled them, they had that nice gasoline smell to them.
Yeah.
Right. A bit oily. What are people saying here? Teresa says, my dad would hand me cash on Saturday around 5 p.m. Send me to get flowers for mom. Really? 1 hour and you're 30 minutes from town. Yeah. Barb says, we should honor our mothers every single day. No, we should not. Told you there's a dark side. No. Mothers are not saints.
That's for sure.
No. My mother was not a saint. There was lots of things about my mother I did not like at all. But she was my mother. Okay? And we have been conditioned in our society, straight from the Bible, thou shalt honor thy father and mother, or be struck down by God and killed into tiny little pieces. Whatever. No. Just because they gave birth to us does not make them special. We're coming to that one. I got a whole rant about that. Okay, so stay tuned. Let's see what other people are saying here. Karen says, the way they have commercialized everything is sickening. Brett says, I have found it best to never go out to eat on any holiday. Well, yeah, because
you're right.
You're right about that. Pace says, I always got my mom plants for her garden, would give her a gift card to get the rest of the plants. Then I would spend the next couple days planting her garden beds. Okay, slave labor. Guilt thing was working well there.
I ended up having to do a lot of that stuff when my mom was on her own after my dad passed away. I ended up going over there all the time and cutting her bushes and planting stuff for her.
Well, that's what Gina's saying. I do things for her through the year. Yeah, it isn't like I didn't do anything for my mother. I did a lot for my mother and for my parents.
You did a lot more than the other two did.
Yeah.
So.
For it all. So, I don't feel any guilt about Mother's Day. Still got her stuff on Mother's Day.
Roped into it a lot of times. You same with me. You get roped into it because you weren't busy with a family. Yeah,
that's another thing too. Because we didn't have any children, and my brother and sister both have children. Well, that was always the excuse. Well, they're busy with their kids and everything like that. So, their choice to have children, big deal. That doesn't exclude them from their obligation to their parents.
And my sister, who was also single, would hand me money to get stuff because she'd say, well, you've got lots of time, and I was working and she was retired. You have lots of time, you could do so. She was lazy. So.
Yeah. Teresa says, I just wish my son would even acknowledge that it's Mother's Day and give me a hug. They're at his girlfriend's parents right now. Wonder if my hug comes later. Maybe he's telling you something, Teresa. Just saying. Don't know. I'm joking. Yes, I am. I'm joking.
Well, obviously his girlfriend is more important right now.
Oh, yeah. There's girlfriend's parents right now. Okay. Yeah, he's cozying up to her parents right now. Keeps them in good... Well, wait. You ladies all know if you've got daughter-in-laws, there's always competition. And I don't care what anybody says about how great a relationship they have with their daughter-in-law. There's still rivalry, and your poor son or whatever is stuck in the middle of that one, So, yeah, who's got more pull, the wife or the mother? Yeah, that one. Don't have to worry about that for us.
Yeah, my mom never had to worry about that. She just had son-in-laws.
Yeah, just had a son-in-law. Yeah, right. That's right.
Or son-in-laws.
Yeah, that's true. There weren't any daughter-in-laws. Teresa or Andy says, for years I told my sons not to give me anything because I already had everything I needed. Oh, Andy, you're really good at the guilt game. That's what all mothers say. Oh, don't worry about little old me. No, really. I don't need anything. Oh, I've heard my mother say that, which meant the exact damn opposite. You knew for sure. Oh, God, I got to get you something. Just once, if you try not to, you will you will have guilt.
Well, you never gave me anything for Mother's.
Yeah. Oh, it'll come back. It'll come back to haunt you. Yeah. Teresa says, I think I should get sainthood. I grabbed my kid and dragged him out of the drug world and held until I blah, blah, blah. Big deal. What do you want, a medal or a chest to pin it on? Like, come on. That's a guilt line right there. I mean, okay, seriously, it was great that you did that. You supported your child and you did everything you can. But you want to know something? That's your job as a mother or as a father. That is your job. You are protecting your kids. Don't be laying the guilt on there. Sainthood. I mean, after all, even Mother Mary, Mother of Christ, he just said, guess what? You're having a kid. What? I'm not even married. What are you doing to me? They're going to stone me. And they tried. They thought about that. So, yeah, sainthood? Yeah, I don't think so. Wild Rose says, too many people think that if you do not have kids, you do not have a life. That is very true. We're going to talk about that in a second, too. Teresa, that's a wonderful story. I'm so glad for you. Sure. Let's feed the sainthood idea here. Shall we with that? You know I'm playing devil's advocate, right? I told you it's the dark side. Judy says, hi, Judy. And Andy says, no conflict with my daughter-in-law because I live 2,000 miles away. That's probably the best way to do it. If you ever chance, Andy says, to come to my place, you would see that I truly don't need anything. Do any of us need anything?
I guess Jeannie doesn't have to make you any more quilts.
Yeah, Andy. So I guess, yeah, Jeannie doesn't have to make any more quilts or anything like that. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, ladies, you're not going to win this battle today. So, anyways, let's talk about this whole idea of giving birth and being put on a pedestal because you procreate it. Okay? Let's talk about this, how children get into the world. First of all, children have no say in the matter of their birth, right? They're not there to, no, not today, oh, I don't like the day you're going to give birth to me. Could we pick another time? I'm busy that week. No, there's none of that. So really, why should a child be thankful because you gave them life? Because if you hadn't given them life, they wouldn't really know, would they? Think about that one. Put that in your funkin' wagon. Okay? The other thing is, there's no such thing as Planned Parenthood. No. People want children for a variety of reasons. Okay? One, society says that if you get married, then after a certain length of time, you should be having children. The parents of the children that are married. So, when am I going to have a grandson or granddaughter? No pressure there, right? Society has made it such a way that saying that you really are not a full person if you don't have children, right? You're not a complete woman unless you've given birth, apparently. That's what, I'm not saying that's what I believe. That's what I'm saying you hear out there. All kinds of pressure on that kind of thing. The reality is, we had a second bottle of wine. It seemed like a good thing to do at the time. Went, oops, that worked out, didn't it? Okay? So let's not put mothers or anybody that has children on some special pedestal. There are people in our society who, for one reason or another, do not have any children. Sometimes it's by choice. We know couples that
like a lady I used to work with, they chose not to have any children, and we've had this discussion before about how people would say to them, "Oh, you don't have any kids, so was that by choice?" Or actually, she says most of the time they don't say, "Oh, what was wrong with either one of you?"
Yeah,
they said they'll say that to her,
and you see, saying, "What's wrong with you?" Wait, if people have decided they don't want to have children, that is their decision. It's only their decision, and they do not have to qualify it. But people immediately people feel that the reason they don't have children is because one of them in the partnership, and unfortunately, the stigma's still there that 9 times out of 10, they assume it's a woman thing. a problem, is that they can't have them for medical reasons. Then if people turn around and say, no, we made the decision we didn't want children. And they give them the strangest look. I've been in situations where I've heard people say that, and it's embarrassing for them. And those people do not have to explain themselves to anybody. That was what they decided. We don't have any children. Oh, I know what you're going to say. Well, yeah, you're gay. You can't have them. Yes, we can. Oh, yes, we can. We could adopt. We could have a surrogate. No, we consciously, and we know gay people, gay couples that do have children. We consciously said, we are not ever having children with that. That was our decision. But because we're gay guys, we don't have the people immediately coming up to us and saying, well, why don't you have any children?
Yeah, like tomorrow I'm going out for lunch with 3 ladies, and 2 have children, and 1 doesn't, by choice. And I know the Mother's Day thing will come up, and I always feel sorry for Anita because she doesn't. It's awkward for her because she doesn't have kids, and to a lesser degree, it's awkward for me too,
because they make you feel, without even having saying it, that you're second-class citizens, that you're not a fully complete member of society because you did not spread your genes into the next generation with it. And that's not right. Now, I know some people have some things to say here. Nadia says, that was nice of the lady I wish I'd known about. Maybe next year, though. Inez says, I was adopted, so I had an extremely wonderful mom. Yeah. I'm not saying there aren't wonderful moms. I'm saying, though, that anybody who chooses to be a mother, with it comes certain responsibilities, and they should not be putting guilt on the children to think that the children are obligated because of guilt to honor their mother. If they want to honor their mother because they love their mother, that's different. And as somebody's already said on here, you don't have to wait for Mother's Day to do that. You can do things. I honored my parents. I did whatever I could for my parents. And Walter did the same with his as well. So, it's not like we didn't abandon them. There were times when you'd like to, but no, we never did that because they were our parents. But it's not sainthood. Okay. Pace says, oh, I took care of my parents all the time. My other, because I didn't have any children of that was my job. I don't regret doing everything that I did for my parents because I love them dearly. Yeah.
Yeah, I took care of my mom and stuff like that. My dad to some degree as well when he was sick, and helped him out wherever I could.
Yeah.
I don't regret doing that.
No. We did those things because, yes, we felt some responsibility to them as well, but they were our parents.
I also loved my parents.
Yeah, we loved our parents. So we did that. Math Geek says, as a person without children, I do get those kinds of questions. That's when you say, no, yeah, none of your business. Yeah, exactly.
And then they say, oh, or they say you're selfish.
You're selfish for not having children. Wait, I've heard that one before too. What is selfish about not having children? I think there's an awful lot of parents out there in this day and age that are selfish because they turn around and they have these kids and they dump them on society to be raised. They put them in daycare by the time they're like a year old or sooner now for someone else to look after their kids. They expect the school system to raise their children. They expect to have support payments, subsidized childcare for all of these. They're your responsibility. They are nobody else's responsibility with that. So really, who's being selfish? How can you be selfish by not having children? You're bringing children into a world that's already overpopulated, a world that is on the brink of war all around the world, that has a climate change that's destroying the world. Really? Selfish? I think it's selfish for bringing children into a world that's this way. There, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, actually, it's none of their business.
Yeah, it's none
why
of their
you
business.
decided not to have children. Like if you decided not to have children, then that's up to you.
Yeah,
It's like anything.
yeah,
It's
and
your life.
and Jamila says, she says, I have kids, but it's a personal choice. If you want them or not, it's your own choice. That's right. But people pass judgment all the time on people who are childless. You know,
Yeah.
even the term childless sounds like there's something missing from those people's lives. Childless, you know.
Ron says, I don't like children and I don't like other people's children. Well, I agree with you, Ron.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you too, Ron. Steph says, I think it's selfish to have children if you don't want them because they won't be raised right. Yeah, exactly.
And yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
It's better to have a cat because eventually the cat dies. And if if you have children, you're stuck with them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it seems, and okay, here you go. I think some of these children are selfish because we heard of one yesterday, a lady that we know. She was, we hadn't seen her in a bit, and she was talking about, her son and daughter-in-law went off to Sweden for a month. She moved into their house, looked after the two kids, and she was telling us this horrendous story about her grandson plugging up the toilet and something and all this kind of stuff. But she's told us these stories before, that she babysits these kids all the time. She says to me yesterday, she says, oh, every time you have a pop-up sew day or one of those events, she says, I can never go. I'm either working or I have to look after the grandchildren. Well, I have it on a weekend. Oh, yeah, well, they wanted to get away for the weekend or they want to go out for dinner and this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's their kids. You brought up your kids. You look after them. Now, so these kids, when they grow up, I think are very selfish to suddenly make grandpa and grandma babysitters. However, that's the fault of grandma and grandpa, isn't it? Because grandpa and grandpa have a word they could use. No.
Yeah, it's just like a lady, we were supposed to go out for dinner, a bunch of us, one night, and then at the last minute she canceled because her her daughter and son-in-law decided they wanted to go out for dinner instead. So they dumped the kids off on her. She couldn't go out to dinner with her friends.
Yeah.
And they took off for dinner, and we turned around and said to her, you could have said no.
Yeah. But here is, well, they say, well, yeah, but I love seeing my grandchildren. Well, what? If you don't babysit them one night, they're going to take away, you'll never get to see your grandchildren again? Really?
And my sister, when my sister had kids, my mother said, well, if you want to go out for dinner or something like that one night, or you want to do something special, I'll look after the kids, but don't expect me to do it all the time, right? My sister she didn't like that response, obviously, when she was younger. And now she says, well, I'm not going to be like my mother and say that. Well, now she's stuck with the kids all day in, day out.
Yeah. I mean, during COVID, the kids were doing school from home, right? Through the computer. But the parents
they were over at my sister's.
And they still are. They're still doing their courses online. They're going back to regular school next year. But there they are. And but your sister, she's, well, I don't mind. We don't go anywhere or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Your choice. But I think, that's sending a message to her kids that, anytime something comes up, no problem. Just drop the kids off here. That's okay. Not a big deal. So, what are you giggling at?
No, Jeannie says I'm funny today.
Walter, you're funny. He's funny every day. Not in a ha-ha way. Elsa says kids are putting daycare and after school activities. Who actually raises them? Oh, kids that are put into daycare and after school, who actually raises them? And then people are surprised when these kids are unruly and little. Yes. And having come from the education system, even though I taught high school, you still got these parents would dump their duties of parenting upon the school system. And yet when something didn't go the way they wanted it, they were the first to go in there and complain. Well, why don't you look after your bloody kid? You know, kind of a thing. So, you know, we've had this discussion before, you know, well, if you want the big house and 2 cars and all this kind of stuff, well, maybe you should have thought twice before you had the second bottle of wine and had children. You know, kind of a deal. Children are a responsibility. Jabella says, I have 2 cats. They are my fur babies. Now the kids have grown up with kids of their own. My grandkids live over 2 hours drive away. So in other words, Jamela, you don't have to worry about getting saddled with them all the time. So when you get a chance to see them, then it is a special event.
Yeah, well, what happened with my sister is my nephew lived over an hour or drive away, and now he's moved close by, so my sister can look after the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard this too. People move to a town where their children with their grandchildren are living so they can be closer to them. Somebody's a little needy, aren't they? I mean, I get it. You want to see your grandkids in the whole bit, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I've heard kids say they're not happy that their parents are doing that.
Yeah. So I don't know. But bringing it back to the whole dark side of Mother's Day, there is an awful lot of warped thinking about mothers and their place on the planet. Okay? Let's face it. Mothers are people. Okay? So what about Father's Day then? Oh, you can't compare the two. Mother's Day. You're supposed to, from whoever has guiltedness, buy them nice gift, have a nice dinner. Someone else needs to make the dinner if you're not going out, like the son, the daughter, the husband, whatever, and all this. Make the day really special for her. Father's Day. Who ends up barbecuing? Dad. Okay? What does Dad get as a gift? Oh,
Tools.
A 6-pack of beer, a shovel, a tool. Yeah, what's the tool for? So they can work on the honey-do list. Okay? All that kind of stuff. Men will turn around and go, well, I don't care. I don't need anything. I have it all. No. Why do men say that? Not to put guilt on anybody. They truly don't need anything, and they just figure whatever you're going to buy me be a piece of crap anyways. So, much more realistic version. You don't get a whole lot of stuff directed towards fathers on Father's Day. If you watch advertisements, not the same as you get it with the mothers. You know, mothers did not have their children on their own. Okay? Doesn't work that way. Takes 2 to make a baby. Okay?
Yeah.
So, what?
Some may rent one. And
Well, yeah. But either way, you still got to have males, okay, in there for it. So, I mean, yeah. Takes
there's
2.
a turkey baster.
Yeah, take turkey. Yeah, right. It's not just for gravy. Let's see. I didn't. Marjan says the word child-free is better than childless. Family should be love without so much strife. Family should be love without so much strife. Okay, I'm not sure where that one's going. That's the one I don't get saddled. Okay. Jamel says, I lost my mother a few days before COVID started. Mother's Day hurts now for me, but here in the UK, it's not today. Yeah, I know it was back in March, right, Jamela? You came in a little later. We were talking about the difference in the dates for Mother's Day in the UK and here in North America. But, yeah, I mean, losing a parent, you're always going to be sad about that. Okay, that never leaves you for the rest of your life with it. And I suppose, you know, yeah, and Mother's Day, probably brings up memories of that, and it's probably a very sad thing. Another reason why we shouldn't have it. It puts people into depression. And that's another dark side of Mother's Day. All of this stuff talking about mothers and families and all this, and then you have people who never had children or live
Never
alone,
got married.
or never got married, or they're older, their parents are no longer there and whatnot. This does not make their day jolly, really. With it, especially when people are throwing it up in their face. My son and daughter-in-law took me out to this really nice restaurant for it, or my son bought me this most fat. You know, that just rubs it in. Just put a little salt into the wound, okay? A little bit more. It's a nasty holiday, okay? It's not even really a holiday. It's just a day kind of thing. You don't get off work for it. It's always on a Sunday. And some people have to work on Mother's Day too, I guess, because Sunday, yeah, people work.
Well, Rose says, I'll never look at a baster the same way.
Yeah, probably not. No. Elsa says, Dad gets a new barbecue apron for Father's Day cookout. Woo woo! Wow. Whoa, right up there. Yeah, I could see why he might say, no, really, I don't need anything. No, I have 12 of these goddamn aprons sitting in a closet now. No. And give a woman an apron on Mother's Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would go over well, wouldn't it? What do you expect me to do with this? Get in the kitchen, bitch. Like, really? Ha ha. Think about it. So why give a husband a barbecue apron? Unless he specifically asked, I want an apron. And you want to know something? I don't think any man would actually say, for Father's Day, I want a barbecue apron. Unless you can give him one of those ones with the nudie woman on it or something. I don't know. Maybe. Or nudie guy, depending.
Or no, you know, what's that? The 6-pack.
Oh, yeah, the 6-pack. Yeah, the kind of thing. And Kathy says, boy, my son-in-law is lucky. He gets whatever he wants, and he picks the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mom gets the same treatment.
Yeah.
Huh? My son-in-law is lucky. He gets whatever he wants, and he picks the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, I'm assuming you mean for Father's Day. Mom gets the same treatment. Mother or his wife for Mother's Day. I'm trying to translate, and I'm not getting it. Some of you people are very cryptic. Every day should be a special day for you and both your parents.
Kathy Patterson says it's his wife.
Where were you reading?
She's down at the bottom. It says she's
his wife. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Good. They're modern couple. They treat each other equally with it. Elsa says, I'm actually pointing at the TV as I'm agreeing with you. Okay. And back to Jamella's comment. Every day should be a special day for you and both your parents. Did you read that on the inside of a card? I'm just saying. How are they special? You know, like, I'm not saying that you should be nasty 50% of the time to your parents or something like that, but, you know, every day's special. If every day was special, there wouldn't be any special days, would there? I'm playing devil's advocate, okay? I'm having fun at your expense because it's my show and I can do that. So, what other things can we bitch about Mother's Day? In fact, if I hadn't been reminded that this Sunday was Mother's Day because of all the commercials on it and everything coming up on, on YouTube and things like that, I probably wouldn't have remembered because I don't have to remember it anymore about that. So, yeah. But anyways.
Or that you were reminded yesterday at the...
Oh, yes, that quilt show thing, yeah. Oh, Jamel says, no, it's just, why should one day mean more than the rest? Yes, Jamela, I get the point now that you're making. I totally agree with you on that. Laura says, my husband spoils me every day. Oh, we got rid of that. Okay. Think of that. You hit the
Oops.
nail on the head. It's a commercial thing. Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
Basically.
That's what most of it is all about. With it, it's the guilt, the big guilt trip that businesses put on us, so we'll spend more money for this occasion. She says, son just got home, brought me pastries that they made in the night. Thought I heard mice in the kitchen. Weight Watchers is on hold for the day.
Okay, so they did something nice for you.
So they did something nice for you. Well, that's okay. But is that the only time they do anything nice for you? Is on Mother's Day because they were guilted, or did they do this for you every now and then? It's nice to have a nice little surprise. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You know, do you need a special day for it? You know? Okay, so yeah, I'm just glad that, well, I'm not glad that my mother's dead. I'm just glad that I don't have to worry about what to get her anymore for Mother's Day. I mean, that's not there. I don't have to worry about it. So that's okay. So, and the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said a few things about what that woman said when I said, well, my mother's dead and whatnot, and for your wife. You said earlier today, you should have said something like, what was it? I'm adopted. Or
Yeah,
there was another line you had, though, that I thought was a good one, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm adopted and was raised by wolves.
Oh, yeah, I'm adopted, raised by wolves. I don't know which one. Okay, Teresa. She says, I did not guilt them. I purposely said nothing just to see if they'd step up to the plate. That's guilt! That is guilt! You guilted them! Oh,
guilt
my.
by omission.
Women have a totally different concept of what guilt is. They really do. I mean, come on. You baited them. Oh, jeez. I'm telling you, Teresa, you're evil. Oh, my God. Oh, well. But anyways, well, yeah. I think everybody probably got the point that we are playing devil's advocate with it because...
Of course, my mother missed my birthday one year, and I waited a whole week to tell her. I said, would have been nice if you didn't miss my birthday.
Well, your parents were old.
Yeah, I know.
They were senile at that point. I don't know. Whatever. So what did they do when you made the point, or when did they realize?
I can't remember. My mom got busy with something else, and she completely forgot. And I didn't say anything. And so when I was working, and I came in, and I said, "Oh, geez, you know, it's pretty bad when your mother forgets your birthday."
Oh, that's reverse guilt, right there. That's
My
reverse
mother
guilt.
And so she stopped for a minute and thought, and she goes, "Well."
No, my mother was really good for our birthdays. I'll say that for her. Well, it was an excuse for us all to go out for dinner in the later years, and that my mother loved to go out for dinner because she didn't have to cook anything. But she used to do a big to-do when it was one of our birthdays. She'd always make us a nice cake and that, all that kind of stuff. So that was always nice.
Of course, it wasn't like my sisters reminded her or anything. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, your sisters are a piece of... No. Jamel says, on my birthday, both me and my sister got presents and vice versa. But don't you get presents on your birthday? Is that something special in the UK? They don't get presents on their birthdays or what? I don't know. I'm a little confused, Jamela, on that one. On my birthday, both me and my sister got presents and vice versa. Your presents got your sister and you? Well, I'm not sure. I'm confused. I'm very confused by what that means, what you're saying. So, on her birthday, she got some too. You mean your mother?
I don't know.
Or your sister? I'm confused. I'm really confused.
Did your mother bake you a cake with coins in it?
You might bake a cake. No, she didn't. But my father used to talk about that because his mother, my grandmother, used to do that when he was a kid. She used to wrap up like quarters or dimes and nickels in wax paper, and then she'd bake them into the cake. And I guess, you know, it was money cake. My mother wouldn't do it.
No, I don't think my mother would do
my
that.
My mother thought it was kind of dirty.
Yeah.
So
actually,
that she didn't do that kind of thing.
my parents would think the same
Yeah.
thing.
But my mother would go out of the way to make something that's a little special. So, I always appreciated that. I always look forward to my birthday because of that. My parents were good parents, you know. But I didn't need Mother's Day to do something for my mother or Father's Day to do something for my father. I didn't need a day for that. I mean, it didn't stop my mother from put me onto a guilt trip.
I mean, there were
good at
times
that,
I got flowers for my mother on Mother's Day, but there were other times of the year I happened to be somewhere and end up picking up some flowers or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jamela says, I got some on her birthday and she got some on my birthday. We never got left out from our parents. Oh, okay. So I used to know people like that when it was somebody's birthday in the family and they had a sibling, the sibling would get something as well on the same day. And so they didn't feel, now they didn't do that in my family. It's your birthday, you're getting gifts. The rest of you are getting nothing until your birthday, kind of a thing. And I kind of agree with not doing that because the birthday for the person that's birthday it is, it should be special in the family, okay? And kids growing up need to understand that. In fact, it used to be a joke in my family. It was Warren and Heather, my father's cousin's kids. You say, see what I got for Warren's birthday? The one would say, or see what I got for Heather's birthday? But why? I don't know. Then those kind of kids sometimes, not saying you did, Jamela, because you probably didn't, but these kids today, if that happens all the time, it's like the kids who get a ribbon at school for just participating. Everybody gets a prize. I don't know.
Or her husband spoils her every day.
What? My husband always spoils me every day of the week. My son called today, but I'm his last thought. Oh, he's spending time today with his husband's
He's gay.
mom, and I'm definitely an afterthought. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you'd be an afterthought. I think it's
well, it depends. Now, what's his age?
Yeah.
Laura, like,
and not only that, it's sometimes people don't think they're screwing around with their parents' thoughts that way. I don't think it's probably done on a conscious basis.
Well, some cases it might be, but I don't know. That all depends. Then you're getting into the whole area of, the relationship, back and forth with that. See, Jamel says, me too. I looked after both my parents. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant, Teresa. It's like getting a participation ribbon. Yeah. Oh, we're making Jamela laugh. Good. We're happy about that.
I mean, the same thing as my parents had two girls that got married, and half the time at Christmas, my sisters would end up going to the other parents' place, and my parents were abandoned.
Yeah, but that's family dynamics, because it's difficult. I guess, like my parents at Christmas time when we were little kids, we'd go to both my grandparents' houses. We would have a big turkey dinner at lunch at my mother's place, and then at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we drive over, which was only 3 blocks away, over to my other grandmother's place and have another one. In the latter years of that, when we got older, they finally got wise, and my father's mother would have my mother's mother, because she was a widow, have her over for like Christmas dinner, so we were all together rather than 2 great big dinners. And I know my parents used to always, on Christmas Day, it was always a big to do, like, oh, we got 2 of them today, we got to go down there, do this and that, and a whole bit to keep everybody happy in the family, I guess. But that was many years ago. They eventually got that resolved. But yeah, I guess it all depends. Like Mother's Day too, I think another dark side of Mother's Day is it probably reinforces or emphasizes what kind of relationship parents have with their children. I could see that being a real problem. Because let's face it, there are some dysfunctional families. What's that? No, that's new. Haven't seen that one come up before. But anyways, I don't know. But I hope those of you that are mothers, I hope you have a good Mother's Day. Those of you that are not mothers, for one reason or another, I hope you have a good day too. And if you don't have children by choice, I say more power to you, because you have broken away from the social norms. You are not a victim of other people's judgment and decision.
And you're not evil.
You're not evil because you didn't have children, the whole bit. And for those of you that Mother's Day actually brings up maybe is a bit of a depressing time for one reason or the other, well, thank God it only happens once a year. So, kind of a thing. And so just about time to go away here, but just see, family is good for my business, psychotherapy. Oh, okay, Ruth says. Jamel says, do you do a live every day? Can I join in? I have had a bad month. You make me smile again. Well, I'm glad we're giving you some therapy there, Jamela.
But no, we only do lives on
Lives
Sunday.
only happen on Sunday. But we do things during the week too, but they're pre-recorded. Laura says her son's 33 and I've always been supportive of him and his husband. I'm so very proud of him and only want his happiness. Okay, well, that's good. Sounds like you've got a decent relationship with your son. So that's good. So anyways, that's it, people. Enjoy your Mother's Day and everything like that. And who knows what we'll talk about next week. We'll find something, I'm sure. So have a good week, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye-bye.